WWE in 2025 could be kind of a big deal. 2025 Raw is going to be going over to Netflix, and if you're here in Canada, you are going to be getting Raw, Smackdown, NXT, the PLEs. Very curious on how they will present the product on a week-to-week basis. Are we going to get a full back catalog of every Monday Night Raw? Are they going to actually pull some of the stuff from the vault and the archives? Are they going to consolidate everything, or is it like just the shows? We don't know yet. It's still limited details. Is it going to be a full 3 hours? Is it going to be 2 hours and 20 minutes? What kind of advertising, and how are they going to make matches in the show flow, since they have kind of freedom to do what they want on Netflix in terms of the platform and presenting the product? If you binge a lot of stuff on Netflix, you know that some of the top shows out there, they don't follow a standard format all the time of 24-minute episode, 30-minute episode, 1 hour episode. Sometimes it just depends on what they need to do, and that dictates how much time it's going to take for that particular episode. So a show might be an hour and 14 minutes. It might be 56 minutes, 47 minutes, 23 minutes. Us as fans, I think we need to look at Raw from a broader lens and try to think outside the box a little more of what we could expect and should expect. I feel like a lot of us think that we're just gonna get what we see for Monday nights, and now it's just gonna be translated over to a streaming platform on Netflix. I don't think it's cut and dry as that, but I'm excited on how they shoot the thing, how it is produced, what new techniques they do, what new methods of storytelling they take advantage of. We'll talk more about Netflix in a minute. Another big shift though is Smackdown. Smackdown is on the USA Network now, and it's going to be going to 3 hours in the new year. Now, for reports that are online, it seems like Smackdown for 3-hour show is going to be a temporary deal. From stuff I'm reading anyways, it's the internet, but it sounds like it's going to go all the way through to the summer of 2025. But this is still a big deal though, if they are going to shift it from 2 to 3 hours, and you never know, maybe it will go permanent to 3. Maybe it's just kind of testing the waters. But if Smackdown gets traction at 3 hours instead of 2, and they're able to do better storytelling, they're able to get more talent on the show, flush out the characters a lot more, Smackdown could be very much must-see television. For me personally, I haven't loved Smackdown. Now that Roman's back and it's all cinema again, I'm having fun. But for a while, Smackdown has felt like it's missing something. It's missing that spark, that urgency, like Raw seems to have. Despite it being 3 hours, I get more entertainment out of Raw most weeks. Smackdown to 3 hours could allow more breathing room and more stories to actually flourish and more characters to really come to the forefront. Okay, the next thing that could be huge for 2025 for WWE entirely is going to be NXT. NXT is moving to the CW in October of 2024, and I am very curious to see how NXT explodes. How does it get better? What do they do differently with NXT? Will it get out of the current arena it's in? I really hope that when NXT goes to the CW, it gets a facelift. I think it needs all new branding. I don't want it to be all pop and color. I don't want it to look like it has 80 people there. I want it to feel like a proper third brand. And that's where I think that NXT has a lot of potential for 2025 to be a big breakout for the company. Will they go on the road? Will they actually go to other venues? I'm not saying that they're gonna go and sell out 10,000 seat arenas, but if they can make the show week to week feel a little bit bigger, a little bit more like Raw and SmackDown, all of the talent is there. And I think NXT could really break off finally and give us that blend of like black and gold era with more of the modern stuff. I feel like we're getting there, but we're in a holding pattern in my opinion right now with NXT. And I love to see what they can do in the new year, especially with more talent, the new talent that is coming in and that has arrived. We've seen Ethan Page show up. You have established stars, homegrown talent like Trick Williams. Motor City Machine Guns have signed with WWE. Are they going to be part of NXT? Julia is on NXT. Lucha Brothers could be NXT, could be main roster. A lot more options and a lot more talent, and not to mention other talents where their contracts in AEW, for example, they could be coming up in the very near future. And will they make a jump over to WWE and specifically NXT? The other big piece, and it's something, it's not like massive, but it's still exciting. We're getting Saturday night's main event. WWE ran the promotion and the advertising for it already, that we're gonna get the first one on USA Network in December of 2024. We're gonna get 4 of these specialty Saturday night's main event shows. Now, these have potential to be something big and something fun. They can make it different. They can make it feel retro like they did with the commercial for it, but they can make it a big deal. And I think because they have 4 of these, they're going to be network specials. I think they want to treat it almost as a mini PLE, especially the first one. A lot of rumors right now about Cody versus Roman 3. And I see it online where it's like, oh, they'll do that in Saudi Arabia. I could see them doing it Saturday night's main event for the first one to end the year. Maybe a bloodline walk finish and things like that, so we don't get a proper third match, but you never know. But I think that they could and should treat it as a big deal. They got 4 of these, and it's another way to showcase more talent. Give it that retro intro for Saturday night's main event, but with all the modern stars. Don't make it like a house show or just a throwaway thing. Like when they would do Tribute to the Troops. Wonderful event, but it didn't really have any stakes. It was more just kind of like a fun show to do, and that's okay, but you want something that's going to be more grounded in terms of the storylines and continuing the threads, and treat it almost like it is another PLE. And that also adds to WWE's calendar of events overall, where you're getting WWE literally like, it's like every other day. Like there's no day off. Now, swinging back in around to Netflix for a second. 2025 could be very interesting for WWE from production side, with more cinematic promos, confrontations and moments, stuff that is filmed in a different way, shot in a different way. And the best example of this is Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and their whole cinematic face-off they had on Smackdown. This was, I thought, awesome. The majority of people, I saw feedback online, and the majority of people thought that this was great. I personally really liked it because it was different. I'm looking for different, new, unique, and them trying new things. I will, whether it lands or doesn't, I will always appreciate them trying to do something new and not just staying with the status quo. But this moment, this several minute segment that they did between Roman and Cody is exactly what I can see them doing in 2025 with Netflix and the content over there. Not necessarily in the confines of just Monday Night Raw, because I don't think that they're going to give you this cinematic, overly produced stuff all night long. But if they want to tell big time stories, big main event matches, your Drew McIntyre, CM Punk and Seth, the Bloodline, Rhea, Liv, these big stories that WWE has, and they want to put more production behind it, they don't have to put it within the 3 hours or 2 hours and whatever of Monday Night Raw. They could put it on Netflix as its own thing. As soon as that whole segment aired on Smackdown, WWE uploads it to social, it's on YouTube, you can watch the whole thing. I think that WWE could and should do more of that, where you're gonna have a big time moment that they're gonna put the music and the sound effects and it looks like just a scene from a movie. They can put that on Netflix as its own thing, and it pushes the audience to check out Netflix, to watch more of the content, to see what's going on Raw. But then they're gonna get these mini movies happening that are going to further the storylines between the superstars. Roman and Cody doing this whole segment, I felt was necessary. It helped so much for the feud with the Bloodline. And again, it not being in the arena, both of them face to face, microphones in hand, the crowd chanting along, that's all well and good, but it's what we have all seen and expected forever. Something like this is different. And I think that it gives us indicators when we see things like this, when we see things like the Rock Cody segment last year, where The Rock destroys Cody Rhodes, those more cinematic produced moments, I think we get more of that going into 2025. And I think WWE takes more chances with it, and I think they should. Now, we mentioned Motor City Machine Guns possibly showing up on NXT. They have reportedly signed with WWE. We also have the reported signing, and it's got to be inked soon enough, but the Lucha Brothers. Seeing Penta and Rey Fenix on WWE programming, I think will help a lot when it comes to tag team wrestling in WWE. I hope. Right now, haven't been thrilled with how the tag divisions on Raw and SmackDown have been utilized. They seem a little bit too much in the background. I do worry a little bit that you get the Lucha Brothers there and you get a big pop and you get an initial run where it's all a lot of fun, and then they slowly pull away from it, and then they're feuding with the LWO and Final Testament. I hope not. I hope it reinvigorates the tag divisions. I hope it helps them. I hope the Lucha Brothers thrive. I hope Motor City Machine Guns thrive in WWE, but I can see the Lucha Brothers showing up on Raw, being a part of Netflix in 2025. I think a lot of us expect that when these signings happen, that boom, we're gonna see them the next week and they'll be a part of regular TV. Look at Triple H and kind of his track record with a lot of stars, and even current stars that are signed. Where's AJ Styles? Where's Shinsuke Nakamura? These guys aren't on TV right now. And a lot of the times, superstars get signed, come back. Akam, Razor, they were in Final Testament, but they didn't show up for over a year. A lot of it seems to be that it's all timing now when it comes to Triple H and new creative. It's about putting the pieces together and not just hot-shotting stuff, but having an actual plan in place of when does it make sense, when are they going to debut, new talent, new storylines, and then they execute on it. Penta and Phoenix showing up on the first episode of Raw on Netflix, I think is probably the way to go. Huge shock surprise, treat it like it's a PLE, get them exposed to the WWE audience, because while they have been around for a very long time and they're wildly decorated across AEW in Mexico, they do need that exposure to WWE's audience and why the audience should care about them. Same goes for Motor City Machine Guns, and they may both show up in NXT, I don't know, or they're both going to the main roster on Raw and Smackdown, but treat them next level, treat them like they are big superstars. And that could also mean big things for the tag divisions in 2025. Okay, the other thing for 2025, this has been rumored for a long time, back and forth, you're gonna see it, not gonna see it. Women's mid-card titles, United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship for the women. What do you think? Is it necessary? Would you want mid-card titles? Personally, I have been advocating for this for a very long time, for years. Could it be too many titles in WWE? Maybe, but with both main roster shows going to 3 hours, hopefully it means that more talent, more women get more TV time, we get more feuds, more stories that are not always just based around going for titles, they get more personal stuff going on. But if they do introduce US and Intercontinental titles, it does give a lot more people in the divisions more to work with. More stories can happen because of it. More women's matches, maybe on the PLEs. And again, even if SmackDown is temporarily 3 hours, getting a mid-card United States Championship and put it around somebody's waist like Naomi, it could be a lot of fun. And it adds an extra layer of buzz and focus, and it's something that I've wanted to see for a long time. Now, something big that we know of that's coming in 2025, it's gonna be sad, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, the retirement tour of John Cena. Now, I got a whole video planned about John Cena's retirement that I wanna go in with all of you guys, but this is gonna be big, and again, Cena's kind of return to WWE once again, right around the time of Raw going to Netflix. They're gonna go hand in hand, and this is gonna be a big deal for WWE for 2025. You have John Cena. WrestleMania is gonna be right around the corner. So you're gonna get Cena from, Rumble season to Mania and beyond. It'll be his final WrestleMania. Who are his opponents? Don't know yet. One of the rumored opponents is going to be Logan Paul. I don't know if I want that for a WrestleMania match for Cena. Maybe they do that for a Crown Jewel, for example, or SummerSlam. I'm sure they would try to push it for WrestleMania, but I want to see the dream matches. I want to see the rematches. I want to see Cena and AJ Styles, Cena and Orton at WrestleMania, Cody and Cena, on and on it goes. But John Cena in 2025 is going to be a big deal for WWE, knowing that it is his final run, and maybe, just maybe, as a fan, maybe we get John Cena's final title win, and he beats Ric Flair's record. I love Flair, I love Nate, but I do think from WWE's side, it's just my personal opinion, I think that they would rather have, at this age, at this stage in the company, they would rather have John Cena as the one holding the title record for most world title wins. You get Gunther versus Cena maybe for the world title, or Randy versus Cena for the world title in the retirement match. There's a lot of fantasy booking you can do, but having Cena on TV, having documentary stuff of John Cena, those big matches, it's gonna mean a lot to a lot of his fans. And with all the changes we got, one of the other ones, it's kind of a smaller one, but you know what? It is one that I'm surprised it's working out so far. Commentary. Joe Tessitore has become the new play-by-play guy on Monday Night Raw with Wade Barrett. It's very early with this, but for his first night that he did, I thought it was okay. It wasn't cringe, it wasn't terrible. But you know what? In short amount of weeks, I really do like his commentary style. It's not outlandish, over the top. He calls the moves. It has more of a sports sound feel to it, if that makes sense. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Everyone's got personal preference. That's cool. I grew up with the days of JR and King, so I like that. But seeing all the different commentators they had over the last, let's say 5 years that they have tried out, Joe feels like he really fits. And with WWE going to Netflix and under Triple H's creative and all that, and them having more freedom on commentary versus the days of Vince and when he was in everyone's ear all the time, I'm excited to see where the commentary team goes, because the commentary, it makes or breaks some matches, storylines. It gives you that urgency and that feel of excitement. It can add to it. What do you want to see from WWE in 2025? Just as a wrestling fan, I'm excited. If you guys want to talk more WWE, click this video right here and have yourself a great day. See ya.